What
Dungeons
in
and
the hell?
Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons new Dungeon Master Guide exposed that safe space for degeneracy. Okay,
Uh,
I don't think the D&D literally says for degeneracy, but the way this article is wording it.
What? Wait a damn minute.
what is that?
You mean to tell me they've sanitized Dungeons and Dragons?
Wizards of the Coast has turned D&D into fetish play. It's no longer the fantasy tabletop game you once loved. And okay, follow me on this. When they say fetish play, they took much of this from an actual tabletop uh what do they call it? Sadomachoism, S and what
S
do they
and
call it?
M.
S&M. They took it directly from one of those games.
Oh
So, but
Lord.
we're gonna get into that. But the new Dungeons Master guide shows it's far worse than we thought. The tabletop RPG system came under fire early this year with previews of Mexican orcs. Yes, they, the orcs, right? Orcs have classically been, they're big, grunny brutes. They'll bash your head in and that kind of thing, right? They're like, we
Yeah.
don't want that image for them. We think they're akin to Mexicans, so we're gonna rewrite them like Mexicans, right?
Oh God.
Check
You know
this shit out.
what the hell?
What the hell is
When I
this?
see orcs, I think green, line cloths, big hammer, stuff like that. Really ugly, really big.
Oh my God.
Hey, you notice all that fattest one standing on the end? That shit gonna collapse. That
Yeah.
kid under there, that kid under, they're gonna get crushed.
Those birds, the little
Bird's
birdies
like,
under
oh
there is
fuck,
gonna get
fly
squeaked.
off.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Why
you got
do they
that
do
that one
this?
like shirtless with a towel and a thing strapped on him. And I guess he's picking coffee beans. I guess
Why do they do this?
I don't know. It's so silly.
This
Yeah,
makes no sense.
these are orcs. These are orcs in D&D today.
Well, I'd hate to see the elves.
This came after an executive at Wizards of the Coast gave an interview a year prior claiming that he wanted less white men to be part of gaming.
Ugh.
Ah,
Well, orcs weren't white men to begin with, so
You
yeah,
know
No,
orcs
what?
the
weren't white
the
people to
people who
begin with.
invented D&D were white men.
Oh,
doesn't make sense any way you look at it.
Grums
No,
has revealed how bad the new one D&D system is. Here's an entire section where DMs are encouraged to have players fill out sensitivity forms about what might trigger them and an emergency X gesture where a player can stop a game if they feel uncomfortable in a fictional fantasy setting. Now, so you're playing a game and you're rolling the dice and it's like, oh, I'm triggered. Okay, that's right. They do that, and the DM has to go. Oh, okay. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. We have to change things so they're not, have their feelings hurt or whatever. So they're not scared of little bitches.
you mean
you
to
Yeah,
tell
that's
me?
that's literally what's happening.
you
Okay.
choose what.
Also, all the art going forth will be AI art.
Uh,
Oh,
AI art? Ew. No offense, AI art. It,
Is
it's
literally derivative.
yeah.
I don't.
Hey,
Well, that
Dixonar's
puts a
got
lot
it
of
down.
artists out of
Wizards
work.
of the Coast is fucked.
It is. It is. It is. It's every bit fucked.
Oh no, it's a platoon of orc banditos. Andale. Oh fuck, was that racist? Was it? Hey, go get a fucking Mexican so I can know if that was racist.
Hey,
Like
puto.
vemos, andale. Oh fuck, I guess I'm just racist. I don't.
But the whole
No.
trigger thing, you choose to get triggered. I mean, It's so stupid that everyone gets so triggered so easily that they have to make a rule for it in D&D
Okay.
now.
Funnier still, Wizards of the Coast, Wizards D&D, are being accused of stealing these ideas from other games without credit. Of course, I'm going to get into that. The new DM's guide features two core tools for player safety, which are nothing more than safety blankets for coddling the perpetually offended and afraid. And everyone at the table has to agree to this pandering where one player can dictate what you can and can't have in your campaign. The first tool is the game expectations form, where players have to list their hard and soft limits. Hmm. A hard limit is what you campaign your campaign can never have, and a soft limit is where you may only lightly touch on an area.
Yeah, well, we all know where they got that mess from.
So here's a list of some of the issues: romance, mind control, cultural issues, harm to animals, natural disasters, paralysis, thirst, claustrophobia. Motherfucker, it's a
Oh,
fantasy game.
what is going to play them then?
This
I
is
mean,
role. This is role play. This is supposed to be for fun. What
Okay,
is this?
you know, while trying to dance around certain words, you know what those Germans from that World War, right? You know what they did? They put out
yeah,
propaganda and they told people they couldn't say this and they couldn't do that and things had to be like this and had to be like that. This is no different.
no, it's not. It's not any different.
Hey, want to look into the camera?
I think so.
You fucking internet people. You motherfucking internet people. You're disgusting. I mean, not all of you, just most of you. I mean,
Eh,
Dixnar's okay.
yeah, he's okay. It would do for them for the woke people to come to our house. My God, they'd be offended before getting in the door.
The second tool is an emergency snowflake break, where players can stop the entire game if they feel the slightest bit uncomfortable. Make an X symbol with your arms. Once this woke bat signal is given, the entire game must stop and immediately address the concerns of the one player by skipping or altering the campaign on the fly and force everyone else to go along with it. You would think Wokies would be happy with this, but they are angry, you see. Uh, the company is accused of stealing these ideas from other tabletop creators. And as the article goes on, it will kind of prove they did. You see, these tools have been around since the late 90s, and come from the world of BDSM. No, I'm not kidding. Look up hard limits and see. In fact, the company is accused of stealing consent form from an TTRPG titled Sex and Sorcery. Now, I didn't realize the average person didn't know what hard limits were.
Yeah,
I
I thought
guess
it might
my
be.
background is very sordid. I mean,
Well,
I did the whole having subs, submissives, and you know, I don't know. My time of coming up and all that. Let's say the '90s, right? Ooh, that shit was rampant and wild, and everybody was a freak. Yeah,
well,
only they didn't sell their ass on the internet.
everybody will. A lot of people are freaks now. They're just trying to sanitize
Well, yeah,
everything.
okay. Freaks then was like BDSM. Freaks now, they don't know what's between their legs, and they're trying to force other people to do the same.
Yeah, that's true.
You take, for example, these pride parades. Watch some recordings of these pride parades. The freaks today? No, I'd rather have the freaks of yesterday anytime.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
it
seen
made
those.
more sense.
I seen those recordings. It's some weird, weird crap.
Not
In
to mention, how they're trying to bring children into it and they're putting on shows for children. That is motherfucking nasty.
Yeah, it
Kids
is.
and sexual stuff? No, just no.
Okay,
Ugh.
Monty Cook Games famously published the following consent form and was widely mocked for it. No, you can't have blood or bugs or rats because the person that originally came up with these concepts in a BDSM tabletop game. That was their kind of like limits: blood, bugs, rats. Of course, the woke of today extended those limits. Like you can be triggered by anything. They literally talk about how you can have goldfish, but describing goldfish goggly eyes might be triggering and you should avoid it if a player lists it as a problem. Goldfish, let that sink in. That's the example they ran with.
Goldfish?
Yeah. Well, the offensive part was goggly eyes, I take it.
Well, like big
I
eyes.
don't get how that's offensive.
Oh, and we have Sergeant, I still don't know how to say that name, Sergeant Giratina, which I was on his show recently. So,
Hi,
I'm
Sarge.
thankful to have him here.
Hello.
Hey,
This new game seems more like a setting by which to foster degeneracy for fetish communities rather than doing honor to the old Gygax fantasy game. And I did play D&D in the 80s and early 90s. Played a lot of it for those years. I mean, I didn't so much after, but in the early days, when it was still very taboo to play D&D, right? And oh, those are fond memories. I love the hell out of those experiences. But what they're doing today, they need to burn it with fire.
oh yeah.
Well, D&D was supposed to be a game of imagination, and it helped kids with their math skills and their reasoning skills and all
Oh
those
yeah,
things.
the people that were heavily into D&D, those motherfuckers were studied. They were smart. They were sharp. They really were back in the day. Now, someone here says D&D is dead. Long live Pathfinder. Well, I hate to tell you, Pathfinder, while not as woke, is also gone woke. But
Uh,
I don't have the material here to produce that. But you can find it. I have no doubt.
I know that Critical Role made their own, but I never looked into it. Don't know how that is.